Hello everyone, I'm Hernandez with Quality Craft Building Solutions. Today we're doing a walkthrough of the 70% progress that we have on our job site right now, or our current project. Okay, let's go. All right. So this is a beautiful home here from the late 80s. So you can see our little storage area right now. This was a two-car garage side by side. So we transformed it into, it's still a two-car garage, but we separated the spaces. As you can see here, on this part here was part of the garage bay, and then we had to close this up. We added this small side porch. Of course, we're gonna have all electrical and everything else that we need here. We had to not only update part of the home, but our electrical, plumbing, and HVAC, of course, and that consisted of our panel. As you can see, we went from a traditional, I guess in the 80s they still had that code where you could have the meter base recess, so it was here, and we had to relocate it to here. This is our new meter base. Of course, we had to partner up with Georgia Power to be able to get this job done. They did an amazing job. It was amazing working with them. And part here, like I mentioned before, this is our new garage bay. We kept before part of our MEP, or our plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. This was the existing condenser unit. We had to add a second for our other condition areas, which is what 2,500 square feet added that we have. This is part of the back area, and can you focus in on this part here? And the reason we're focusing in is because this was the very first section of the project, or phase. So our retention wall was around this area, so we had to come in with our hardscapers, our guys in here, basically push the retention wall back. Of course, we went through the city of Milton permitting wise, so we have everything up to code with permitting. The only part that we're missing here is our fence, which is part of our landscaping, hardscaping that we're doing at the end. So we'll knock that out as we go along, since the homeowner didn't have quite a good picture of what she wanted, but now we do, since we have the home, we have the space, we have an understanding of how everything's going to shape up. Okay, and then on the back here, this past week was an interesting one, since we had part of the week being hit by rain, so it kind of gave us, some time, basically 2 days to work. So we were able to prime most of it. As you can see, the guys today, we primed already, and now the guys are focusing on sealing all the penetrations, all the nail holes, and getting ready for top coating. So we have the guys there this week working under the sun. That way we can advance as much as possible. Now, I don't know if you're able to tell now, but we have different types of materials. I'll show you here. So on this one, this is a lower shake texture. Then our corners, of course, and all our trim is part of that fiber cement material as well. And then on some areas of the existing home, which is cedar lap siding. But the challenging part about this was that this is not a standard lap siding. This is a true 1x8 1/4 lap siding, or siding that they use, and it's made out of cedar. So to find that is pretty much impossible. We did use it in the small, or in a way we had to manufacture it ourselves. We had to rip it and then mill it to get it to the 8 1/4 in the side porch area that you all saw earlier. So this is all part of the existing home, which the homeowner wanted to keep that identity all throughout here. So we made our transitions basically from this corner out here, and you can see the difference, of course, between materials. Now we did some custom work here. We focus in on the trellis part. So this is very custom, of course. So can you focus in here? So what we did to help this material live longer or have a longer life was we added flashing on top, so that way the rain doesn't hit it, and then we primed all around the material with oil-based primer. So if any plant gets on it, it'll take a while for it to decay or cause any damage. And you can see all the flashing work all around. All right, now we're gonna focus in on one of the best spaces in the house, or in this, let's say, new addition of the house. You all can come in here. Welcome to the music room. This space will be more for the husband and I guess from time to time guest. That's why we don't have an entrance. On the other side of this is the garage, so we have independent entrances. So this goes out to the backyard, which is ideal. And then this other entrance here, of course, goes out to our driveway, which is very nice. Okay, so I'll give you a breakdown of what's going on carpentry wise, or what we have behind the walls. So of course, one of the best features of this room, we have a vaulted ceiling. It makes the space feel bigger, and of course, not only bigger, but just more comfortable overall. And that was something in terms of custom work that was really good feature to have. Now this recessed space that we have here will be for a Murphy bed or some type of cabinetry. So all around at the bottom and at the top, we added 2x10s, 2x10 blocking in both areas. So if there's a bed or if there's something that, you know, the homeowners decide to add in the future, they'll have that support without having to look for the studs specifically. So we have electrical, as you can tell, we have some here. Then we have an outlet there. Besides that space, in terms of blocking, we have blocking all around the walls, basically at 5 feet, between 5 feet and 6 feet. And that's because the homeowner or the husband likes music. So this is, as you can tell, not only the music room, but we'll have instruments to be able to hang on the wall. So that means there'll be a space there in terms of dead wood to add that support. So all throughout here, we have dead wood of blocking all around to have that support. Now, if you can focus in here, this is not finished yet. We're working on it with the carpenter. And this space is basically where the TV is going to live. This is going to have, it'll just have simple 1x and material to cover this back here. We're going to have our pivot arm here for TV. So basically it'll go here and then pivot out here to be able to watch TV wherever they have their couch or in their bed, however they decide to do it. Okay, here we're going to have, I believe they're going to go with tile or LVT, which will look amazing in this area here. And then this is our full bath. And can you focus, do you mind coming in here? Okay, so here we have 2 spaces that we're going to make custom made carpentry. So we extended this wall about 6 inches and we have that space available now. And the best thing is that we're still up to code in terms of distance away from the toilet and the washroom. So this is our shower. We reuse the door and the glass panel that goes here into this pony wall. So we're able to reuse that material, which ends up being great. We'll have a toilet here, of course. We'll have our vanity sink here. And under here, we haven't cut it out yet, but we have a recessed space for a medicine cabinet, which will be great. All right, everybody. So here is our garage that we relocated or moved. Addition-wise, we had to add a second panel to the existing. So this basically covers our new part of the house. Okay, and in terms of functional space that we had to add, obviously we added access to the attic space there, and we have this access door there. Standard, you know, your garage door opener comes around here, which in this case, we had to go with a jack shaft. We had to relocate it. which we'll be able to take care of later on. And then can you focus on here? This beautiful machine here, it's called the jack shaft, which is super efficient, very functional. This other space is the mudroom or entrance from the garage. So in this entrance, per code, we have to have a fire rated door. This is a 20-minute fire rated door, which is very heavy, but it's very good. Of course, it meets code. Then this is one of the spaces that will have the most custom carpentry work to it. We were able to reuse this locker that the homeowner had. As you can see, we put the crown around it. It's going to have base or baseboard around it. The wainscoting is not here yet, but we're going to have wainscoting all around here in this entrance here. Alrighty, so this is our laundry room here, or laundry space. One of the situations that we had early on was meeting one of our specifications in terms of framing. We had 2x4 walls. We don't typically, or we don't work with 2x4 walls because once you cut out plumbing wise, you have no framing left or no material left in terms of structure. So we always go with 2x6 walls whenever it comes to plumbing. So whenever we did this with the architect, they didn't consider that space. It wasn't our architect. It was someone that the homeowners decided to go with, which is no problem. They didn't consider that focus point, which basically took about six or less inches away from the space, which is, you know, in tight areas, it can be a lot. All right, this is our powder room or half bath. This is it's fairly small space, but very functional. This will have wainscoting as well. This here will basically be integrated into the wall. So back to custom, we were outside of this window, and this is where our meter was. So all of this wall had to be rebuilt or reframed because our meter was basically inside this wall. And of course, toilet, small vanity, crown, we're ready to go here. Then if we can focus in this area, this is going to be a very special area. This area is the scullery. I'm going to have an oven here. Then we're going to have, of course, our wall cabinets. Sorry, our base cabinets and our wall cabinets here. But this space will have a beadboard panel, the 3-inch wide beadboard panel, which is going to look great. It's going to look amazing. Everything on the walls, ceiling is going to remain the same. We made our addition. So as you can see here, this is where we made our transition. This is our mono slab, and this is our crawl space. Part of the basically foundation or the existing to the new, as you can see. You can hear probably. And we added flashing in between to be able to cover those two materials, just in case water or something goes on in between it. Okay, this is a very special space. Again, one of the best features that we enjoy doing or adding to the spaces is our vaulted ceilings. This space actually, I don't know if you can tell or you can see it here, but this was where our garage was. So from basically, I'm going to put my tape from there to here was our old garage bay. So this is the living space, the functional living space that we converted into basically square footage of the home. In this space here is going to be a custom fireplace. It's going to be an electrical one, which is ideal for this space. We don't have to run gas, it's efficient. And then we ran our angle here, so just in case there is some type of heat, it's able to circulate in this space, and that way it doesn't stay and then create a fire hazard. Okay, so another custom work that I didn't mention earlier is our walls. We did a level 5 spray on our walls. So obviously the standard would be you'll be able to see the gray paper or whitish paper, but we did a level 5, so this allows our finish work in terms of top coating or paint for it to be very, very smooth and high quality. So this was one of the features that, you know, if that's something that you want for your home, it definitely makes a difference. This is the kitchen here. In this space, we went with a tongue and groove ceiling. As you can tell, this is one of the features. We still have some details. We have our vent hood here, which we have our vent pipe already lined up. But here, what we're going to have is we're going to install the vent hood later on once the carpenter, again, one of the features that he's working on. So he's custom making all of this vent hood space here, or vent hood cover, sorry. So where this mark, I don't know if you can see it here, from this point and above, we'll have some of that 1/2 inch brick again. So it's more custom work, but again, it'll look great. And these ideas have came from mainly the homeowner and her designer. So her designer has been great, giving her ideas and just creating something that's has good flow to it. Okay, and then one of the best parts is our kitchen cabinets, right? As you can see, we've lined up with tape to see where everything's going to be. Triple window here. We're able to look into the backyard. These windows have been really great to install, really amazing to work with. So they're going to have a good feature here once everything is closed up. But here we'll have wall cabinets, we'll have a refrigerator, we have our sink, and it's going to transform the space. Now, okay, as you can tell, this is part of the existing as well. All of this here hasn't changed much. Besides, this door is new, of course. We had to get into the floor here to have access to our plumbing. Since we had to make updates, to our plumbing there. This home had a water leak at some point, so this is something that we're taking care of or mitigating here. Now we are replacing all of the doors with solid doors, or hardwood solid doors, which is a great feature. And then we'll focus in here. This is just a little added part that we're doing. We're refurbishing this old deck, which is all made out of cedar. Can you focus in here to see the chemical process that we're doing? You see, we're basically stripping the old materials, all the old coatings from the top, and then being able to prime it and then paint it again. And this is a small feature, but you know, very custom. So this is our little double door here, and this is where we're going to have our vacuum slash storage space. And the coolest thing about this is this used to be an entrance to a bathroom. So of course you'll be able to see in the master bathroom what the transformation or what the transition has been, but this space is now has a different functionality to it. And then if you follow me here, this is the master bedroom. Master bedroom, we're not doing too much. We recentered the fan, changing out the trim on it because we replaced the windows. This space here is the master bathroom entrance. We went with a pocket door, 32-inch, which is here. Again, more custom work to it. Instead of having this mesh here, we're going to add a acrylic panel to it to make it, let's say, frosted or have privacy. So that pocket door will go in here and it'll look amazing. Okay, this is our master bathroom. As I mentioned before, we had an entrance to this space, which this space was one full bath completely. Let's say from this point on, from here onward was one bathroom, and then here was the master. So of course we took on the space. We had to reframe everything up there. We had to add LVLs to, of course, transfer our loads and support everything. So this is our commode area. This is going to be a closet here. This is where our vanity is going to be. Medicine cabinets in here. And then we added more blocking here. We're going to have like a pivot mirror. Where you're standing is we're going to have our tub here. All of this area here is going to have wainscoting as well for our carpentry. So our carpenter is enjoying this custom work that he's doing all around here. This window looks different compared to the rest because later on they'll be able to open this space onto the deck that they have envisioned, and we already have the framing or the header up there, and we're ready to go in terms of framing. And obviously all we have to cut is just the drywall and open everything. We have electrical on both sides, we have a sconce, and then we have our receptacle. We'll have water as well, and we'll have everything basically roughed out to be able to have access to electrical, plumbing, and of course our framing. This was a very interesting case, or scenario. So whenever we were reframing this wall, we had termite damage all over it. So what we had to do was we had to partner up with our with the homeowners, termite or pest control company, and just go through the cycle of understanding, how everything was going to function. But we had to basically reframe everything from the band underneath to the top plates because of the extensive termite damage. So the homeowners wanted to keep this bathroom or shower, which is still in good condition. We were able to keep most of it clean. Now we're doing some cleaning as we go, so we'll have the cleaning crew come in tomorrow and be able to help us out, get us as tidy as possible. As you all know, during construction, it's just a continuous cycle of cleaning. So we'll be able to replace this carpet. That's why we haven't covered this material. Will be replaced as well with new woods or new flooring. Okay, this is the upstairs. This flooring will be replaced as well. So the custom work that we did to this space, including this closet here, was this used to have textured or popcorn ceilings, and we went with the level 5 finish on it as well, so you can see the difference between the existing wall, and our new level 5 finish. Then new windows, new trim. So let's say this part here is already trimmed out, and you can see how good it looks now. So all we need to do is just prep it, prime it, and paint it. Same for this window here. All of the windows in this level, this second level here, we had to reframe, we had to move, because we lined them up with the outside or the bottom windows. So this window used to be here, we reframed everything underneath or above, sorry, and moved this window here. See, we are now installing our vanities. We installed this vanity yesterday. We added the existing trim, which is this type of wainscoting that they had before, so we just replaced it. We had a pocket door here, so this is going to be a small storage. They're going to have another niche here, just little areas to have, storage basically. So we have that here. Then we have part of a medicine cabinet here. We have our electrical up there, and I don't know if you've paid attention, but this is closed cell spray foam insulation, and what we have here is basically all around the house, the areas that we have exposed, we went with spray foam, and it's making a big difference. It's something that I recommend. Okay, this is one of the spaces that we did more custom work on. So as you can tell here on the floor, this is where we had an existing closet. This is where we had our bottom plates right here. So we transferred or moved that space into here, and then the homeowner wanted to add 2 different shoe storage places, reduces space. So we'll add this bifold door that is right there. Again, this window, whenever we removed it, we had to reframe it to line it up with the bottom door. So this was a good custom work that we did for all these windows in this back section here. Now look at this feature. This is a very particular, I would say one of a kind. This homeowner has very amazing creative ideas. So this idea is basically to have an understanding that this was part of the existing home, and basically everything from this wall downward and upward was a new addition to the existing house. I don't know if you were able to follow that, but I think it's a great feature. And maybe you're asking the question, this is not private for whoever sleeps here or stays here. That's no problem, because the carpenter is going to add an access panel or a door basically here with hinges to be able to create that privacy. And can you focus in here? So if you remember this walkthrough that we did earlier, this is the kitchen there. So it's just one of those features, very particular, but I like it. I enjoy it. Okay, so now we're walking down to the basement. Part of storage. This beautiful door. This is a door that will essentially go out to the deck space that we have where that temporary window is. And just in case there's somebody out there, yes, it is tempered. It's next to a bathroom, so code. We're able to meet code there. So thank you for worrying about that. I appreciate it. Now we had to drop down this ceiling here. We have our access panel for our plumbing that we have basically right underneath here. That's where we have our P-trap, but we had to drop it because this is where the the vanities are for the master bedroom. So we had to drop that area there and basically create a transition that's fairly smooth. So we have that there. This is the sump pump that was already there. Tankless water heater, which is great. We have all of our shutoff valves in a place where they have access. So I'll just give you a reference. So of course this is very efficient now to use. So I'll give you a reference of where it was before. This is a mic here, but it was within the wall up there, which is very difficult. So we had to custom make this door. So the homeowner basically purchased this, framed it out, cased it out, and now this is what we're carpentry wise we're coming on to finish this out, trim it out. As you can see, part of this material is no longer in good condition. So I'll show you another area where basically we had to do some work on. So for some odd reason they had added the shutoff valve here, and in a space where it's very, very limited. I don't know if you can see up there, but anyways, this is part of our basement area. The humidifier here. Can you focus in here, please? Okay, so you all can see this is part of the crawl space that we were underneath, basically the dining room and the kitchen. So we added spray foam insulation. You see that? That way it's sealed, all the penetration, so it's sealed from all sides there. So this was a very good feature to have, that spray foam insulation. Now here we've done a lot of work in terms of just removing old cables like these or whatever this security panel was for, probably doors and windows. Now we have contactless or wireless, which is ideal. It's all Bluetooth. As you can see, this is a new panel, and this was part of our project or our work that we did, our work order with our disconnect and reconnect. So we went ahead and brought this panel up to date. This was part of the existing. This is very good in terms of bringing everything up to date and up to code, and we're all satisfied and happy and content with that. Part of our update, as I mentioned earlier, plumbing wise, we have a new shutoff valve and a PRV, and a new shutoff valve here and an access point where it's good and, you know, functional and accessible for a homeowner. This is our sitting room. This is going to be amazing because this little custom space is very unique. And the reason I say unique is because we have a pocket door here, right, which we're still trimming out. Then here we're going to have those two side lights built out here with our carpenter, and it's going to be a small cozy room in here. And then more work with our carpenter that we'll be doing here is, as you can see, this is going to be a fireplace as well. So we're going to wrap this up in the stone, and then have our cabinets basically go in there. And at the end of the video that we'll have, once everything is trimmed out and painted, it'll look amazing. Everyone's going to love this. We're going to bring out our heart 12 inches. So we're going to level it out with our floor here, which is going to be beautiful. We're thinking this is the color here, but again, with all the spaces, or we had in total 40 units. We had 40 units, including doors, exterior doors, and windows. We had 40 of them, and we went with this product, or this manufacturer, which is great. Very easy to work with. So we had to replace every unit around the house, and of course add the units to the new part of the building or the house. I missed this spot area, but I just want to bring it some light. So this spot here, these are two side lights that were made into a door basically. It's an amazing feature. Again, this is all the homeowner's creativity, which I enjoy working with. I've been learning a lot. All right, thank you for following me. Thank you for staying with me, and till next time, see you later.